Hey guys, how's it going? So, my goal here is to give you guys an intro for tonight's training session and to do it within 5 minutes. So, gonna do my best to go over things quickly. So basically, the scenario we're gonna be going over tonight is Himmelsdorf Tank Alley and what holding that would look like and the different skills that are personally involved in making good plays there in a circumstance like advances. Can be used in pubbies as well, but basically we're focusing on what advances would look like. So for Monday, the start of this week, I'm really focusing on individual play and not so much how we do our pushes or focus fire and things like that. This is more focusing on the first 3 minutes of the game. You know, when you pull up to a corner and you're just told to hold, engage, and try not to bleed. Those are the big things that we're focusing on. Just trying to bring everyone all the way to the same level. So a couple things we'll be going over in the tonight's session will be side scraping. So everyone should really know that as you side scrape, you really want to be keeping your inner drive wheel and all of your lower plate away from the enemy. So side scraping, you should know already by now. We're not baiting noobs. We're not playing against bad teams. We're actually playing against pretty good teams. So everyone should really know how to side scrape already by now. So side scraping will be one part, and then playing hold down. Whenever you guys see this, when you see a cran that's completely hold down, it should be something that you just say, nope, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to pen. We should know how to be using our cover. And this is really the circumstance that I want to be looking at is what does Himmelsdorf look like when we've got a lot of tanks coming at us or when we're pushing into a lot of tanks. So there's a lot of different things we can do. These are just a couple lessons that I found on the internet that we'll be going over. So we'll be using the 277, and it's got a good gun. It's got decent, really good turret armor, really small cupola, and it's a really hard tank to crack if it's hold down. When it's side scraping, it is a little more tricky because this is really, really weak, this corner here. So when you are on a corner and you're side scraping that, you really don't want to be giving this away too much. So the angles that you're going to be picking is you want to be getting those auto ricochets, and you don't want to be giving them that inner drive wheel or that lower plate shot. So I've got a replay that I put together with some friends. So this is oftentimes what tank alley is going to look like when you have a couple of vehicles here. You're going to have someone that's going to be trying to go hold down like Richard is over there. You're oftentimes going to have someone come to this corner. Sometimes someone's playing that inner corner like Rubik's is. Sometimes people push up to this rubble pile is a pretty good one. But people are going to be really held down here. So what we're really giving people to shoot at isn't anything nice. And we really want to focus on not bleeding. So here, in the first little bit, I'm just going to show you what Ricky and I were doing, and this is basically how we want to be playing against each other. We want to be going for cupola shots, you may be slinging some HP, but you're not really giving people anything good to shoot at. So I'm not staying still, I'm not letting him shoot at cupolas. If he's shooting HE, I'm trying not to give him anything nice to shoot at, and I'm just taking a second, and then as soon as I'm off my reload, I'm zooming right back out always. So you really want to make sure that you're waiting for your reloads, and then you're watching for it, and then as soon as you take that shot, zoom out and get moving. So what I'm doing there is I've just picked my angle, and I've got a pretty decent angle that he's not gonna get nice easy shots into me. He's gonna have to really aim for those, and I've got pretty good shots on his cupolas that you'll see here in a sec that I start hitting. You don't have to hit every single shot, you just want to make sure that you're not bleeding. So this beginning setup is we just want to make sure that we're not bleeding, and he's going for moving cupolas a little bit, but oftentimes the moving back and forth whenever you're on reload is going to be a lot more effective. So he's moving, I'm waiting for my reload, and then I know he just finished because he stayed still, and then I move, and then I just take a speculative shot and hope. So here you really just want to make sure that you're not bleeding, you're not giving a good angle. So you got to see the angle that I'm at on this corner is it's a really shallow angle. People over angle way too much, and we have Panzer who can shoot out, hull down on the side of me. So if there's 2 or 3 people on a corner, you should be working corners like this. You don't need to have someone over here, back here, not able to shoot things. You shouldn't be coming to this side here and be completely out in the open. You just need to be watching your HP, and when you're side scraping, you really take the whole corner. It's kind of greedy, so you just want to be careful with who's behind you and who's jostling you. So basically, that's what I'm asking for when you guys take a point, is find a really nice angle. If you've got a 277 or an IS7, these are really good hold down spots to be. You're not going to get penned very often. So when you see chieftain that's completely hold down like this, you should just say, nope, I'm not staying here. I'm not sticking around. He's butted himself up to get more gun depression and to hide his cupola. I've got no shot on that cupola. There's no way I'm going to go through any of this. Whereas he has got easy shots straight down into my upper plate, which is quite weak. So when you see this, or you see VK7201 that's side scraping, at tier 8 you see a Chrysler on a corner, certain vehicles where you know you just don't have any shot to pen, with gold, without gold, it's just not worth peeking. Don't give them easy shots, don't bleed to this. Unless I'm telling you to push, don't bleed to that. So those are that's the times when you should just decide, I'm just going to stay in. Okay, and here's really the angle that we're talking about when we're side scraping. The 277 has a rounded nose, like I was showing you in Tanks GG. So this upper corner here is going to be that weak part. When you have a more boxy tank that doesn't have as rounded, like this chieftain, he's got a lot more to work with, and his upper shoulder is not going to be a weak spot. So when he's angled like this, he has a shot down into my lower plate. He can shoot down into here or up into this, and I have no shot on him. So you really want to watch your angle that you are side scraping at. So if you side scrape at too much of an angle, so if you were side scraping at this angle, all of this is weak now, and this upper bit here. So you really want to make sure that you're keeping a shallow angle. So to side scrape in a 277, really all that you can show is from here onto the left. If you really want to have any chance at bouncing, you really need to keep that at a very shallow angle. So you can't over side scrape that. So this would be side scraping done well on a corner, and so he's going to be looking for a shot there, and he has one. So you just got to be careful of and I've got no shot on him. There's nowhere that I'm going to be able to go through, even with heat. Even if I go for a turret ring, even if I go for a turret cheek, I might high roll some pen sometime, but it's going to be really tricky. So watch your side scraping angles. So yeah, when you're backing up and when you are trying to just move away from a position and you want to look behind you and you don't want to give your turret, you want to hold down right click. So when you hold down that right click, you can move your turret and look around without your gun moving, and it'll stay in a fixed spot. Oftentimes people give up the sides of the turrets just when they're turning, when they're looking at something, and they just give a really nice side shot to the turret. And so everything that we're doing is we're just trying to minimize risk, minimize the amount of damage that you're taking in return for mistakes, for just being where you are. This isn't a situation where you're trying to put out a ton of damage. You're just trying to stay as safe as possible while still having the option of putting out shots. So what good players will oftentimes do is whenever they're not shooting, they're holding down right click. So whenever they're backing up, whenever they're running away, you're always turning your turret towards the enemy, and then you are holding down right click so it locks your turret. So see what Panzer did? That's what puppies do all the time. People try to back up, look behind themselves, and their turret turns and they give a side shot. So you want to be locking your turret really whenever you're not using it, whenever you're trying to run away and focus on something else. Just lock your turret so you can keep it pointed at the enemy. So here's something, when you're running away like this, he turns his turret and then he locks it so he can look and still drive and not run into things. So that's one thing you can do when you're leaving a place and you're rotating. Turn your turret around and make sure that you turn it around because it gives a higher percentage chance to bouncing stuff.